Okay, I thought I should drop this quickly. Please, if you are in Abuja, you need to be careful. Yesterday, I don't want to say I almost lost my life, but it was a close one because I can't lose what another person did not give to me. God gave me the life. It was a close one. And the worst part of it is that it would have given me a huge debt. It was about 7:30 p.m. thereabout, and I had a flat tire. Then I opened the boot only to realize that there was no spare. I had to call a friend who said he was coming to help me. I waited. This happened under the bridge at between Setrako and Katampe. If you know the bridge, you know what I'm talking about. I was actually waiting for the friend. I waited for hours. It was late. I couldn't access any vulcanizer around to help me out, and truth be told, it's an SUV, so the tire is so heavy. It's not something I could lift, and walk around looking for a vulcanizer. And so I waited for him to come with his car so that we can pull out the tire and go get a way around it, probably driving to the town to see if we could get a vulcanizer or something. So while I waited for him for like 3 hours stretch, and then it was around 9:30 to 10 thereabout. It wasn't funny. I noticed that some boys were roaming around. They passed at first around 8 thereabout. There were 3 in number. They passed and walked all the way towards Katampe. I didn't worry myself, even though I was security conscious, because I'm very mindful. I was security conscious. I didn't worry much. But then around 9:30 to 10, while I was still waiting for my friend, I wasn't getting a green light from him. He kept telling me he's coming. So I decided to just open the boot, put the caution sign, and then pull out the tire and see what can happen. Initially, I thought I could just maybe remove the 4 tires of the car, put it in the car, and just leave the car hanging or something. But then I thought that even if these people are not just about removing tires, they can vandalize the car, pull out the brain balls, the electricals or something, and that would be a huge debt on me. It's not my car. I was very, very worried. If it was my car, I would have just I wouldn't worry much, because if something goes wrong, I wouldn't worry. I would have just abandoned the car there and just leave it till the next day or something. But I was just being careful so I don't incur unnecessary debt. So while I waited and he didn't come, I decided to just remove the tire. So I put the caution sign to tell that the car was faulty because it was in the night. And thank God Almighty, the place was properly lit up. Yeah, and so no, that section was not lit up. The street light wasn't working. Yeah, that section particularly wasn't working. So I put the caution sign, the reflector caution sign, and then I got the jack and decided to remove the tire. I left the boot open so that passerby will know that there's something actually wrong with the car. Yeah, and then while I was trying to remove the tire, something happened. Those boys, I noticed that they were on top of the bridge. I looked up, and because I was looking around my environment to be sure that I was safe, but it was late. I looked up and I saw that they were there, 3 of them. Then I decided to be careful. Why I knew they were the ones, it was because I knew what they wore when I saw them. One was on blue, the other was on an ash colored shirt or something. The third one black shirt. And so I knew they were the ones. I became very, very scared. Yeah, I wasn't scared to say I was cautious. Yeah, I took real notice of my environment, and I noticed that I looked up again. At some point I didn't see 2. Only one, the one on black, was on the bridge. At that point, I knew something was up. And so I decided to just I was already pulling the tire out. Almost. I already removed the wheel nuts, the 4 of them. No, the 4. Yes, only one was left. So I decided to just throw the jack into the car, and I closed the boot quickly. Thankfully, the glasses were all wound up. So what I did was I just abandoned. I just pressed the what do you call it? I quickly went to the bonnet, yeah, and I removed the starter fuse. The starter fuse is very, very important, you know. It's very, very important. This is something that you shouldn't take lightly. I removed the starter fuse from the car and closed the bonnet tightly, and then I locked the car. And I didn't use the remote to lock the car. I used the key to lock the central lock, so that I don't know how prepared they were, because truth is, if you use your remote to lock the car, they can still reprogram it and unlock it. So what I did was I used the key. That's one security tip. I used the key to lock the car, and then I ran across the bridge. Across the road to the other side of the road. While I ran to that place, I noticed that the two boys, after some minutes, not even up to a minute, I noticed that the two boys came around. They came around the car, and they were wondering. I felt like they came from the other side, and they thought that I was still at the other side where I was fixing the tire. So when they came, I noticed that I was seeing them from the other side of the bridge, of the road. I noticed that they were roaming around the car. You know, one tried to go to the boot area. Probably they saw that I opened the boot. It was locked. They went to the bonnet. It was locked. The doors, they tried to open the doors. The doors were all shut. I was observing everything. I was observing everything they were doing. And then they looked up to the one on the bridge, and I don't know, I can't say what they were saying, but that one started looking around, and he started pointing at my direction. So I walked all the way up towards a filling station. And then when I got to the filling station, I think I've forgotten the name. Then it's actually a mobile filling station before the pedestrian bridge at that between Katampe and Setrako. So I told them what was happening, and then I told the one guy I saw there standing. You know, it was late. I told him what was happening, and he told me to please forget the car at that point. I should forget the car at that point. I shouldn't go back to the car and he cannot help me because he doesn't know if they were armed or not. And I actually understood what he said. That I left the car that way. Truth be told, I went straight home. It was today in the morning that I went back there. And as I speak to you, some of the accessories, let me show you. Like this one. This was how they were trying to pull out this one too was removed. You can see this one too was removed. This one, if you know Mercedes very well, you know that there is a pad here, sort of. It was removed also. And let me show you the starter fuse that I pulled out before I abandoned the car. This is just in case next time. This is it. This is the fuse I pulled out. This is the one I pulled out. I actually removed some relays that I have not returned back. I removed some relays, but I know that this one wouldn't let the car start. This is the one I pulled out. This is just a security tip, right? This one too was vandalized. You can see it was vandalized. So guys, why I decided to do this video is for your own safety. Please, if your car breaks down on the road, start early enough. Don't wait till it's dark. If it breaks down, seek help early enough. The roads are not safe at all. They are not safe. These boys are everywhere. You see, that is why I'm always happy. That is why I'm always happy when I see security personnel parked under the bridge. Whenever I see them, I'm always very, very happy. Please, the Honorable Minister, I don't know, however it is, something needs to be done about the security in the FCT on our highway at night. You see, these boys, if they don't see who to rob, they will go about stealing facilities. You see, these street lights, the manholes and all that, this is how they steal it. I'm just grateful to God that I wasn't harmed. I'm grateful to God that He gave me the sight to see where the danger was coming from. Thankfully, I wasn't harmed. My subscribers, please, and it's not just about Abuja alone, it's all over. It's a security tip that you need to take real caution about. Stay blessed, guys.